Call to order the regular park board meeting for January 21st at 7:01. Please call the roll.
Kevin Riley,
Here.
Gary Foyles,
Here.
John Tillman,
Here.
Tara Gray. Here. Pat Callahan.
All right, we have let the record show we have a quorum. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda, anything to be added or removed from the agenda?
Nope. Stands as is.
All righty. Entertain a motion to establish the consent agenda, which includes approval of minutes for the special park and school board meeting of October 1st, approval of minutes for regular park board meeting December 17th, approval of minutes for executive session meeting December 17th, the minutes from the public hearing of December 17th, approval of paid expenditures, unpaid expenditures, treasury reports, purchases, and approval of Resolution 224, the OMA designation.
So moved.
Second.
Just want to let you swear.
Approval by Foyle, second by Gray. Can we call the roll, please?
Foyles,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Callahan absent, and Tillman.
Aye. Motion carries. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Tie.
Approval by Gray, second by Foyles. I'll give it to him. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay.
We need game
Motion
show
carries.
buttons.
Next item on the agenda is item 6, guest matters from the public. Anybody who would care to come forward? Seeing none, moving on. Next item, matters from commissioners. Anybody have anything they'd like to bring up? Nothing?
No.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the correspondence. How many did we have?
None.
I don't have it on here. None?
It was an unusual month.
It is unusual to have none.
Everybody got their Christmas cards out, and that was it.
Right, that was it. They didn't bother writing letters for us. Item 9, announcements.
Wow.
Off and rolling.
Okay, New Horizons preschool registration for the 2014-2015 school year is taking place at the Eastside Community Center through February 7th for residents and will begin February 17th for non-residents. Participants currently enrolled have first priority. The program is designed to provide an opportunity for social and emotional growth, as well as a beginning adjustment to a more formal school experience. For more information, please contact Lori McDonald at 630-406-5282. Tickets are on sale now for the 12th Annual Lincoln Dinner Theater. The Batavia Depot Museum invites you to experience this year's performance entitled Mary Todd Lincoln, Reflections of a Life of Shattered Dreams on Sunday, February 23rd at 5:30 p.m. at Lincoln and Banquets. Tickets can be purchased here at the Civic Center, the Eastside Community Center, or at the Batavia Depot Museum. Dads and daughters will dance the night away on Sunday, February 16th at Rotolo Middle School. The popular Daddy-Daughter Date Night will be held from 6 to 8 p.m. Dads and their little girls will enjoy entertainment, dessert, dancing, games, and more. A dinner option is also available prior to the event at Pal Joey's downtown Batavia. For more information or to register for one of these events, please visit bataviaparks.org or call 879-5235.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is affiliate reports, and we have today Bob Geiken, who I can't see. Thank you, from Tri-City Soccer.
And I think every time I get to do this, I follow someone that's a very good public speaker. So I just have a little update from Tri-Cities. Last year was our 35th anniversary, which is quite an amazing feat, considering a not-for-profit to keep going that long. We have roughly 4,000 children in our program, of which there's about 850 from Batavia. And that includes our recreational league, which is by far our largest. And everyone knows that's kind of a parent-coached, low-pressure type of a situation. And we have about 70 travel teams, of which half are parent-coached, half are what we call premier, which are professionally coached. So the price points go differently. Rec is very inexpensive. Classic, the parent coach is a little bit of training, so it's a little bit more expensive. And then, of course, Premier is up with the other clubs, which is fully led. You know, we have to have employees run that. So right now, we're utilizing game fields in Batavia, Geneva, St. Charles, Campton, and the county. And the fields in Batavia work out really well. Soccer has morphed into more small-sided games as opposed to the 11v11. So the field size in Batavia is perfect for us, so it works out well. People do complain about the long drive from St. Charles to Batavia, but when they play in the St. Charles complex, they complain about the long walk from the parking lot to the game field, so.
And vice
when they
versa.
When
It's a
they
long
play in
drive.
Batavia, they love it because it's a very short walk, it's just a little bit longer drive, so it's kind of interesting, but the fields work out really well. We're very appreciative that you do that for us. As far as our staffing, we're up to 5 full-time employees and 3 part-time. We hired a gentleman 3 years ago to do our education. His name's Mark McKinnon, and we promoted him to general manager last week. So it's kind of an evolution, if you will, for the Tri-Cities program with more full-time as opposed to all volunteers. It's just a sign of the times, I think. But with Mark there as a full-time general manager, much like a sports team, he'll be involved with our day-to-day activities, let some of the board kind of go back to their normal full-time jobs and not volunteer as much time. So that's the purpose of that. We started a Classic Cup tournament, I think it's 3 years ago. So we have a tournament in August, which is a little over 100 teams, and that's a competitive tournament, if you will. We also went back into the summer camp business. We had gotten out of it for a couple years. We started 2 years ago again. It's been successful. 2 really important things that we've done. We've partnershiped with Athletico, and I think everybody's familiar with who they are. Athletico has been awesome with us. We conduct concussion clinics and ACL prevention clinics. Right now, the schools are looking for the prevention of ACL concussion things. We are kind of on the cutting edge of that, we feel. So with our partnership, we have really good seminars for our coaches. It's something that we probably could expand if, you know, you would like to have us kind of come in and bring our expertise in and maybe put a seminar on. Obviously, it's Athletico that does it, but it's something that I think we're pretty good at. We also have Positive Coaching Alliance, which is basically an organization that promotes good sportsmanship to both the parents, the coaches, and the children, and that's gone over very, very well. And I think that's about it for my little update. Again, we really appreciate what Batavia does for us and all the support. We did morph into a new logo. You may have noticed the TCSA instead of the old Circle Tri-City Soccer. And that's been an interesting move over with that because people remember Tri-City Soccer. They don't always remember TCSA, but we're co-branding it, so I think it's working out a little bit better. We do run ads in your book, which helps out, I think, a lot. So is there any questions that you may have? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You mentioned you're on the cutting edge of the concussion and ACL type of conversations,
Right.
and really there are a number of sports and activities that the Park District holds that kind of injury can happen that a lot of people don't think it would happen.
That.
You know, basketball, gymnastics, all of those can have the propensity for concussion.
Right.
So any of those instructors, some of the seasonal instructors, some of the full-time instructors, whatever, could benefit from those kind of conversations. So, I mean, any additional information on that would be
One
awesome.
interesting thing, I think we've done the clinics for 3 years now, and I go to all of them, and every year it's what you thought you knew from the year before, 6 months, they change it.
Right.
And it's just, it's amazing, the
Right.
difference, and the ACL especially.
Yeah.
You know, the exercise that they give the kids, and they can actually do a little bit of assessment and then help the children become stronger in certain areas to try to prevent them.
Yeah, we're definitely interested in partnering
Okay.
up. So
That'd be
we'll be
great.
in touch.
Okay, sounds
Awesome.
good.
And then you mentioned your full-time person, was it Bob, or Mark?
Yeah.
He used to be, so is the education you're talking about with the athletic co and those type of things, that he's bringing more of that awareness to the
Correct.
organization?
Right.
Okay, so now he's doing it full-time.
We actually hired him 3 years ago for education, and so he came in as a director of education.
And when you say education, do you mean like,
Educating our coaches, educating
oh,
our
okay,
parents.
coaching education, okay.
Educating some of us older people on the board.
All right.
So he came in to do that specifically,
Mhm.
and he has a lot of contacts. We're very tight with the state associations through Mark's knowledge and through his contacts. So we put on referee clinics for the state. We have coaching clinics that the state runs we host at our building.
Okay.
So it's worked out pretty well.
And then your Classic Cup,
Mhm.
where is that? Do you use several fields? Do you use
It's
some of
at-
our fields, or?
It's at Big Brain, which, the main soccer complex in St. Charles is.
Oh, okay.
James O'Brien Park I call it Big Brain.
Okay.
Because we have down the road by the courthouse is our practice area.
Right.
Just like 35 years, and that's Brain Small.
Okay.
So, at least in our mind. anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
so. But it's at our normal practice field, or normal game fields.
Oh, okay.
Where our office building is at, on Peck Road.
No, I don't know. Okay.
Okay, just take the soccer corridor at Peck.
Yeah.
And go up to St. Charles, go past the courthouse, and you'll see the
Oh, okay.
soccer complex up
All
there.
right. Okay, thanks.
And there's 18, we have
Yeah.
18 field pads there. And so the pad is big enough for a large field, but we actually play mostly 2 smaller fields on it. So we could actually pack in 36 fields if we tried, but we don't do all of those.
Yeah, that's that huge area
Yeah.
right across really from the courthouse, right?
Yeah, it's, actually, that's the practice area, so it's a little
Oh,
bit
it's even further, okay.
Right.
North. Oh, okay.
Yeah, by the bus barn, the St. Charles Bus
Oh.
Barn is our practice area, and then it's the next road up.
Okay,
Near the
okay,
pool.
okay,
So if you look, you'll see it's where the swimming park is at now.
okay,
That's just the.
Outer
south-
Cove.
Outer Cove, right.
gotcha.
And all the fields are there. Tri-City Youth Football has 2 fields there also.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No?
Great. We know that, we hear from the community. Of course, they think you're us, so we get a lot of the thanks and compliments, so
Good.
We
I'm
appreciate
happy to hear that. Any promotion you can do to help get those community people
Oh,
to come over to us.
and we do, for sure. I mean, we're
Yeah.
also like a referral program for you
Right.
that we.
You are. It's been a very, very good partnership, and, we believe in a lower fee at least for the recreational players, so.
Right, I was going to
Thank you all
say
very much.
the same thing, that it's been a great partnership, and we appreciate the work you do, so.
Great, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Yeah, and you're gonna really like the facelift at Engstrom Park.
I heard, yeah, you said it's gonna be pretty nice. Parents will enjoy the new parking lot, that is for absolute sure.
Mhm. Yeah.
And thanks for keeping those game fields there too, because we do appreciate that.
For sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Bob. We really like working
Okay.
with you.
All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
very
Thanks.
much, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Get that last game of golf in.
Next year.
We always travel someplace warm.
I know, another 2 weeks.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming out.
Bye-bye, you bet, thanks.
Carrying on, next item on the agenda, staff reports. Any updates?
I just wanted to say a couple things. First off, on our snow removal efforts, I wanted to share with you as well as the public that we do work simultaneously and very closely with the city of Batavia in our snow removal efforts. We share the removal of certain areas, and we share equipment, and they mirror the same standard of care that we provide. So there has been some mention out there that that doesn't happen, and very often we do every time it snows, we share each other's help. So without them, we wouldn't do as good a job as we can and provide, and vice versa for them as well. The other thing I have is to offer about the depot ice skating rink. Just to reiterate on some of our standards of care, the ice needs to be 8 inches thick for us to get equipment on, and the night ice needs to be of a certain quality to provide safe use for our park patrons. And the criteria for the ice thickness and quality is set over years and years of experience, and through our PRDERMA, which is our Park District Risk Management Association. Continually I get questions about, well, I used to go out to my grandpa's farm in Wisconsin or Minnesota and drive the old Cadillac out there and 2 inches of ice and we fish, you know, and that could be true, but we need to provide a higher level of safety and assurance that the conditions are proper for the use of the ice. And so these are standards that we've adopted for years. This has been a record-breaking cold. In 20 years ago, we experienced the same thing. One of the dual-edged sword we have is with the snowpack on the ice. It is an insulator. And a lot of districts that offer natural skating like we do experience the same thing. With the first warm day after the cold snap we had standing water on the ice, and we're like, we got 15 inches of ice, how can we have that? I don't have an answer for that other than our experience in that the snowpack and the density of that provided a warming blanket, which then increased the temperature in the surface of the ice and actually made it thin or efface from the 15 inches to nothing, in some places to 1 inch. So we were closed for about 5 days right after the cold snap, scratching our heads. We're back open again. So please rest assured that we check the ice a couple times a day. We log that entry. We follow criteria for that. And our duty is to provide the safest skating conditions for you that we have established over all the years. So look for the red or the green flag, call our main facilities. We do put it online as well, as far as if we're open or closed. And when you're out there, stay on the cleared ice. Those are the areas that indicate that it is safe for skating. I see skate marks beyond the cleared ice into the snow, and it really indicates that people are venturing out into unknown and potentially unsafe areas. So stay on the cleared ice when it's open, and you'll have a great time. So,
I got
you have
three
any questions?
I have 3 things to say. Number one, when the snow melts, you're right, it's a blanket, right?
Mhm.
But when it melts, it moves, causes friction. That's what causes a lot of that temperature variation between the ice and the snow.
Very good.
Also, there is a very big business in Minnesota on taking those Cadillacs out of those.
I watched the video on that.
Yeah, right. There's plenty of videos out there on that.
And EPA generally has a nice fine for you because of the
Yeah.
gasoline and oil that you've
Right,
introduced
right.
into the body of
They
water.
wouldn't introduce that stuff if cars weren't sinking in the water. And actually, I wanted to give kudos to your crew. We're only a month into the winter season, and we have already surpassed by several inches the annual snowfall for the year,
Yep.
or the average snowfall for the year. But the crew has been keeping up with it, and it couldn't be easy. So kudos to you and your crew for
They do a
keeping
great
up
job.
with this. They do.
I will pass that on. Thank you.
Anything else for Eric?
Thank you for your comments. I
Sure.
appreciate it.
Any other updates?
I just have a couple things. If you did not get to see the video yet that was shown at the staff party, it is on our YouTube page, or our YouTube, the Park District's YouTube channel. The video was created back in December with the help of BATV. Huge shout out to BATV staff. It's essentially to celebrate the Park District's 45th anniversary this year, and to kind of thank past and present board members and staff, and most of all our residents as well. So the BATV staff did a fantastic job of putting this tribute video together. So
Is that the one on the Facebook page?
It was, yes. I linked
Yeah.
to it.
It was
Yep.
awesome.
Yes. So I highly encourage you to check that out. And then also, we have our agency showcase submissions ready to go for Thursday morning. So if you are going to be at conference, please take a moment to stop by the agency showcase area at the Hyatt to check out not just our submissions, but other submissions. And then on Friday at the IPRA business meeting is when the announcement will be made, correct, for the winners. So keep your fingers crossed.
And we have our website and annual report, correct?
And social media and the brochure series once again. We won first, yeah.
You're
Ready to say.
defending
We won
champion.
first
Defending
last year.
champions for the
Right.
brochure.
Us, you
Go
can-
Target on our backs for that one.
Go Carrie.
Jim, do you have anything?
I don't.
Okay. Amber, anything? Yours is coming later,
Okay, yes.
unless you have something.
No.
Okay.
Yes, I have our program report for the second quarter to give.
Yeah, we'll do that later. Okay. Next item on the agenda, number 12, Executive Director's Report.
All right. I just want to remind the park board that it's that time of the year again where we will be scheduling a special board meeting for March to have our budget workshop. So staff has been knee-deep in the hoopla, working on budgets, and so I'll be sending out an email to coordinate that date shortly. So I'll need just one night in March, just for a few hours, and we'll feed you two.
That gets us all there, right?
Right, that's right. And also, the leadership team and I have been reevaluating the Partner Affiliate Fund Program, the PAF program, and I will be bringing a recommendation on the future of that program to the next park board meeting. So I just wanted to let you know that that's being revisited. It's been in a state of hiatus for quite a while now, and we're being proactive and moving forward with a recommendation on the future of it. And last but not least, I really would like to thank each and every one of you on the board for supporting me in this last year as the Illinois Park and Recreation Association chairman of the board. I really appreciate the fact that you allow me to serve on the board. And I guarantee you, for every hour I spend with the association time, I put 5 hours of Park District time in. Shelley can attest. So, but, it's, I'm just elated, and I know that I would not have had this opportunity if it wasn't for your support. So thank you very much for allowing me to do that.
Awesome.
Well, that's good. I think it helps you become more professional, more visible within the state, and certainly I think there's some wash off on our district too. So I think I think we benefited a lot from that too.
Mm-hmm.
And we're proud of you for
Yep.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's been a tough, very busy, very busy year.
What are you going to do with your free time?
Yeah, I'll have to reintroduce myself to my husband.
Right.
But I do want to also give accolades to Eric Locker, who just wrapped up his year as the president of the Midwest Institute for Park Executives. It was his second year, actually, as president. There's never been a person who wanted to, who was able. No, I'm kidding. No,
You didn't step back fast enough when they asked for volunteers, right?
2 years ago, you had black hair.
No, there was at least a decade in between when he served, and his leadership is exemplary. And clearly, he puts Batavia on the map in the Parks Department as well. So he's been a true leader of sorts, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So
Thank you.
Always proud.
I mirror what Allison said. Thank you for the support and time of providing me the opportunity to do that. And it has served Batavia very, very well. My exposure, as well as Jim's, and to MFE. Great resource of information.
Yeah. Awesome.
little love fest.
Yeah. Do we all hug now?
And I would be remiss as well if I didn't say that Jim Eby received the Bruce the Spruce Award. And it's the Cadillac of all awards that the Park District gives out to staff. It's like the Employee of the
Wait,
Year
does that mean I
award.
get a cat? A what?
No, you were supposed to wear the costume at the meeting.
Your Cadillac is at the bottom of a lake in Minnesota.
He was going to wear the Bruce the Spruce costume, so I was waiting to pick a bush.
That's right.
so.
You have to-
Yeah, I'm not quite tall enough. for
No,
that
it's
costume.
okay. It's just, you're a growing bush.
I'm out.
Awesome, congratulations.
And that, my
thank you. It
friends,
was very fun.
is the wrap.
Yeah. That's enough. Item number 15A, Award of Audit Services. Jim, were you going to give a talk on that?
Very briefly, you have Rita's memo to you all. There was an RFP that was sent out on the 2nd of December. We got it back on the 8th. There were 5 that were sent out. 3 were returned. This is for fiscal years 13, 14, all of 14 and 15. Of course, our stub year, and then 2 full years after that. After doing much research and lots of phone calling, Rita was able to establish that the Sikich Company is the firm that she is recommending that we go with. Sikich, I would have to say, does a majority of park districts in the Chicagoland area. They are certainly, she says, the gold standard. Sikich was our firm here, our accounting firm here, from the beginning of the park district up until about 15 years ago or so, and then we moved on to some other firms. But so we here have a very good, solid history with them from a long time.
We also took the board recommendation to change auditing firms. There certainly isn't any kind of law that says that we need to do it every 2 years or every 3 years, but we understand it's a best practice, and we took it to heart when you said that we needed to really go out and look for a new auditor.
Yep. Yes.
Right, just to make sure that things are fresh if they need to be.
Yep.
Yeah, and as far as cutting edge and the reporting and in the process by which they go through to look at our books, Sikich is really top shelf. So unless there's other questions, the action is on the yellow sheet there for you.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to award a 3-year contract for auditing services to Sikich LLP of Naperville, Illinois, for the sum of $46,364 for fiscal years 2013, 14, 2014, and 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Foils, second by Riley. Any discussion? No further discussion?
Well, and as I said, I think I was one of them who was on record as saying that I think it's just important that, I think we've been with the current firm for 5 or 6 years, and, absolutely nothing wrong with the work they did, but it's just a good practice to
Totally agree.
mix it up every 5 or 6 years. I would anticipate that, in another 5 or 6 years, we'll be having a similar conversation.
Yeah, and I think we kind of found in all of the research that she did that this is a very much the practice now. You don't get a CPA firm and hold on to them for decades.
And it forces the CPA firms to keep themselves current, update themselves as far as
question.
data collection and
Yeah.
data mining and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fact, someone coming in with new eyes is just looking at something from a different angle, and
Yep.
Absolutely.
to make some good recommendations.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Foils,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Gray. Aye. Callahan absent. Tillman.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Item 15B, Recreation Programming Review. Amber.
Thank you. Well, the Recreation Department, with the help of Rita, who is not able to be here tonight, put together the second quarter review through the graph system that you see in your packet. We did a graph for the recreation expenses and for the revenue. This report is through the end of October. And as you can tell, overall, our program revenue for the first half of the year is up 54%. So it's a little bit over halfway through. Some of our programs that are listed below, like our Kids Watch, our sports camps, cheerleading, our science programs, they're much more over the top, over than halfway through. And that's just because of how they land during the year and what type of classes we're offering at what times of the year. Especially like our sports camps, those are a lot of our summer programs, so obviously those are up, same with science. And then also though on the expense end, we are at about 54% for expenses too, halfway through the year. Now, this will even out a little bit more as the rest of the budget year goes, or fiscal year goes through, because some of these classes were just starting at the end of October, where we had expense, to get the program's supplies and employees and things like that trained. And so since those programs have now started, we won't have as much expenses for some of these classes. Some of our programs are doing really well with expenses, where the rec department has worked hard on keeping them, the expenses low this year, especially like our general rec fund. Martial arts is pretty low. Also, our dance is low. But as you can tell in the graph, we did a 3-year comparison. All of them, we took our 14 core programs that we feel are, were important to highlight in this, and obviously the kindergarten enrichment only has the past 2 years because this is a new program for us. This is only our 2nd year doing that. After the expenses, we have just some highlights I wanted to touch on, and I know most of these you guys can read, but I just wanted to touch on a few of them that the rec department wanted me to bring up this evening. Our River Rhapsodies, with the help of Lori McDonald and Carrie Miller and Brittany from the marketing department, have continued to grow over the past few years that we offer down at the Riverwalk on Wednesdays. This past summer, maybe it's part of the weather too, where it wasn't, terribly warm at 9,500 degrees every day. Bad for the quarry, but great for our concerts, because all of our concerts this summer averaged about 300 people at each concert, and they do continue to grow, which is great. It's very popular. We have a lot of people in the community calling about our River Rhapsodies, and they do continue to grow. Also, the kindergarten enrichment program, this is our 2nd year that we started this, and that kicked off in August. We had 110 kids signed up this year, which is a 20% increase from last year's. So, that's wonderful that Rachel and with the help of Allison has been able to work with the school district, and that program continues to grow as well. Also, during the fall, some of the special events that we offered was Mom and Son, the skateboard competition, and then also our Haunted Quarry, which took up 2 weekends in October. Those programs continue to grow too, and we did see increases in the number of people, participants that came out to those programs. And the feedback, because I did have to work all of those events, the feedback has been very positive, has been very positive for those events, and it is becoming more and more popular too, which is great. We like to see that, not just those programs, but all of our special events throughout the year continue to grow. And then also I wanted to highlight our dance program for the 2nd quarter. We had over 100 kids sign up, and a lot of those are children that are going to be in our recital coming up in April, which they're getting very excited about. And we have had some dance instructors move, and that's kind of a hard area to hire to get someone that knows the dance background, knows how to teach it as well, and has experience in it. So Lori had to hire 3 new dance coordinators this year, but they've worked out wonderful, and they've really been doing a good job, and we've been getting very positive feedback from parents and from the children, and I cannot tell you how excited they are for their recital coming up in April. And then just a couple additions that I wanted to touch on. We did offer new programs during the 2nd quarter in our nature area, our health and fitness, arts and craft, and our general recreation fund. And the rec department is working on trying to add more programs and classes every brochure season. And we have had some people come from the public to offer ideas to us that we have worked with to add more classes. So anytime that anybody from the public has, any input, classes, programs, please contact us. We're always willing to try something new. And then lastly, I wanted to touch on some future program ideas. Working with Ryan, our athletic supervisor, he would like to work with the Geneva Park District on offering middle school recreation volleyball league to be played during the spring. So I know he's currently working on that. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer these for you. And if not, I can get you the answer and get back to you.
I think part of the sharing program that Ryan's been talking about may just be some of the future of some of our programs, just because of the numbers of that particular age group. In order for those things to survive, we may need to do that kind of partnering. And I know he's done that with a couple programs that are going on now, and they've really been successful. So I'm glad that he's trying to expand that into some of our neighboring communities too. So yeah, that's great. Any other questions?
Just a question on the dance program. And
Yes.
it was like was it a year ago when we went into the gym and we saw
Yeah, they
The
did a
dance,
performance
yeah.
for it.
That was really
Yeah.
good. I don't know
Yes.
if we can do that again or something.
Sure,
Because
sure.
I remember at that time, the group that we saw was getting ready to go to some state or national
Yeah, competition. Mhm.
And I think it'd be good for the audience to see some of the programming that
Sure.
we have and the success we have.
Lori would love that. Kids would
A
love
taste
there-
test.
Is there, you mentioned the dance program, and the last time we heard about it, it was doing very well. The kids
Yeah.
were having a good time, they're learning a lot. For them to leave that program that we're doing, do they age out and do they just get?
They
you know,
do,
it's-
yeah.
So then they know we
Because right
don't
now our
offer-
program goes through 8th grade,
Okay.
so a lot of them have, aged out and gone on to the high school dance team or
Okay.
cheerleading, things like that, yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, even something like that to promote.
Sure.
You're in this, you get a good chance to go to the,
Right.
be in high school.
And that's why
just so
some of
that-
them do join the program
Yeah.
to get the experience and the practice to, be on a competitive, the theater program, to be on a competitive
Yeah, I
team
think
at
a
the
lot
high
of the
school
programs
level.
we have are high quality. You get a
Oh,
lot
yes.
of, you get a lot of experience, good instructors, like you
Mhm.
just mentioned, for the dance and other things.
Right.
And, I think everyone needs to know,
Yeah.
instead of going to some of the private clubs around,
Right.
I think you can get some great foundation,
And
good
those
stuff
theater
here.
programs really, they say a lot about the community, a lot
Yes.
about the Park District. If I'm not mistaken, Lori just posted that part of the group that we saw last year, they won some competition just recently,
Yeah, this
right?
past weekend for
Right.
the high
Yeah.
school team,
Right.
high
So,
school
I
dance
mean,
team
it's,
did that were part of our
Yeah.
group
Just
here
like
at
the
Park
BYF
District.
Right.
program is the
Mhm.
feeder for the high school, we're a feeder
Right.
for the.
Right.
For the dance
excellent.
program,
Yeah,
right?
good.
It's excellent.
I'll bring
And-
that back to the rec department
Mhm.
and set up a time.
I didn't get a call for an interview.
And we did just refinish the wood floors at Kemp Hall, so they look beautiful.
Oh, cool.
So I'll take a picture.
I'll talk to Lori
Okay.
about that. I will.
HR about that? I didn't get a call.
He
for
would
that.
like to be a dance instructor, a sub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ballet.
That's right.
Ballet.
I think we will start entertaining
Hip-hop.
that movement of chairs that you were talking about.
Yeah, that would be great.
Or they're going to entertain a motion to.
You make a dance instructor?
Give a
No.
demonstration that you know what you're doing. and then we'll-
That's what I said, he should,
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of that, I know.
Oh, yeah, a lot
The
of
numbers
that.
might really.
We'll need a
We're
choreographer.
trying to build the program, Eric.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay?
Not
You know,
deter,
And this is a
participants
little bit of
away.
a new format for the way this information's been presented
Yeah.
from
Mhm.
in the past. And I appreciate the graphs and things. It would be nice if we had kind of some of the backing numbers too, because I have to kind of estimate on here.
Sure.
And I know one of the things we used to have was the percentage of the new programs that were successful or the percentage that were canceled, whichever way you want to look at it.
Sure, sure.
Because I think that's sort of a
Sure.
good way of judging how far we're stretching
Oh,
to-
sure.
for some new things. So.
And we really see this as a work in progress.
Uh-huh.
It's a living, breathing document, so we're willing to change it.
And also, I mean, every program doesn't have to be a success either. So I mean, go,
Right.
like Gary just said, stretch a little bit and see what.
Yeah,
See what
if
goes
Like
and,
volleyball.
yeah,
Who
what's
knows where that-
popular, what's not.
If
Right.
you're not trying something new and canceling it occasionally, you're not
Yeah,
trying.
you're not
Right,
trying.
exactly.
You're not moving
Exactly.
forward, you're staying
You
still.
got to give it a whirl.
Right.
I do know that during the second quarter, we did have 36 new programs that we offered during that time, and 20 of them did go. So I do know that, and we have that in the report, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a real good
Yeah, so
ratio.
at least that's a good start for us.
Right. You know what might be one of the numbers is in business, they track the percentage of growth for existing stores. Okay, same type of thing. What is the growth of existing programs versus the new ones as well? Just kind of, these are the ones that have been around for a year or two, and this is the growth of those versus these new programs and the canceled programs. So it might show some trending that might help, you and your staff
Oh, yeah.
kind of look at some things too.
Okay,
And
thank
also,
you.
is there, sorry, not to add more for you, Amber, but I'd be interested in seeing, one, because I know, talking about the cancellations, that a lot of times those are with a partner, within the
Like,
kid stuff that
where we co-op
my
with
kids
other
are going to,
districts?
right.
Sure.
So that would be, I'd be interested in seeing, is that, where is who's signing up for those, or, is it?
For the co-ops?
And then, right, and so who decides on, you know what I mean, like,
Sure.
who's the owner of those? And then also, how much of these programs are the co-op programs? Because as with two small kids who do a lot of stuff here, we do a lot of the co-op programs are great, because it branches you out a lot, you know? So I'd be interested in seeing, you know, a percentage of what
Oh,
those are,
please,
or
okay.
even just a breakout of how many we,
Sure,
you know, what
sure.
all
How
we
many
do with
co-op
those.
classes
Yeah.
we offer, and then because I do know that sometimes we're the ones canceling it
Okay.
if we're hosting it and it's
Okay.
in our facilities. But sometimes if Geneva or St. Charles is hosting the class and it takes part over there, they make the say on if they're canceling it or
Got
not.
it.
They call us to see how many kids we have signed up through Batavia.
Okay.
And then they'll make the decision if they're going to still have it go or not.
Okay.
So,
Okay, all right, thanks.
no
Very
problem.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good report.
Yep, thank you.
Item 15, C, D, and E are kind of together as far as ordinances 330, 331, 332. We'll take them one at a time, of course. He just stepped out. He just stepped out. I saw him sneak out. So
Eric, can you do the two-step?
we will talk very slowly and succinctly until he gets. Do you have any preamble?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
Actually.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
He's back.
And with
Okay, now we
us
can start
tonight
sneaking
is
past it.
Dave Phillips from Spear Financial, and he will discuss the results.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dave.
Good evening. Good to be here this evening. And the district, as you know, has gone through a process with the Bond Issue Notification Act public hearing and a subsequent pricing of the bonds last Thursday, that we took bids on the $1,200,000 of general obligation limited tax park bonds. We received 3 bids, with the best bid being from Piper Jaffray out of Minneapolis at a 1.1201% for a 2-year maturity. It's just an extremely attractive interest rate for the Park District. We received bids as well from Bernardi at a 1.25 and Oppenheimer at a 1.97. So I think the you'd like to be able to get this kind of interest rate on your own personal financing. That's not possible as much. This is a tax exempt interest rate, and it's a highly competitive market, and Piper Jaffray did a wonderful job, and certainly would recommend the acceptance of the low bid from Piper Jaffray and the adoption of the ordinance that you have before you that's been drafted by bond counsel at Chapman Color.
And this also justifies why it was bundled into a 2-year, because we could really save on issuance costs as well.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 330, an ordinance providing for the issue of general obligation limited tax park bond series 2014 of the Batavia Park District, Kane County, Illinois, for the payment of land condemned or purchased for parks, for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the same and the existing land and facilities of the district, and the payment of the expenses incident thereto, and providing for the levy of a direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest of said bonds as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion approved by Foyle, second by Gray. Any discussion? Any questions for Dave? No? Call the roll.
Foils,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Riley,
Aye.
Callahan absent, Tillman.
Aye, motion carries. Item 15D, which I am getting to, is ordinance 331. Is there any preamble to that?
Well, it's the tax abatement.
Right.
Which is an ordinance that instructs the county to not levy taxes for the debt specified on the document, because when debt is issued, the ordinance levies the payment to the property taxes for all year's payments that are due.
And while I'm scrolling through this first ordinance,
Easy for me to say.
is there any questions on that at all?
Yes, please.
No? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 331, an ordinance abating the tax heretofore levied for the year 2013 to pay debt service on $2,360,000 general obligation refunding park bonds alternate revenue source, Series 2009 of the Batavia Park District, King County, Illinois.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Gray, second by Riley. Any discussion? No?
No.
We need to
We are
call
just
the-
double checking with legal counsel.
Okay.
There is a script, but Jim,
Oh.
are we good with, okay?
Was,
Are we good with the motion?
Yes.
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Be happy to do it all over again. We can start everything over.
Boy, so Dave left.
Yeah. If you can call the roll.
Riley,
Here.
Foils,
Aye.
Or aye.
Riley,
That too. You're still here. Go.
What do you want? Aye.
aye.
Gray. Callahan absent, Tillman.
Aye, motion carries. What?
We're all a little slap happy tonight.
Item 15E, the approval of ordinance number 332, ordinance abating the tax of, well, I'll just read it. Again, is there any there's no preamble, is there a script I
Not
need to
with
read
this
on
one.
this one? You're not going to sneak across the room? This one. Entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 331, an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2013 to pay debt service on $3,110,000 general obligation refunding park bonds, alternate revenue source, Series 2011B of the Batavia Park District, King County, Illinois.
Just to clarify, that was ordinance 332.
Oh, 332, it's 331 here, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Approval of ordinance number 332. Do I need to say the whole thing again, or just that
Nope,
part?
that was
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Riley, second by Foils. Please call the roll.
Riley,
Aye.
Foils,
Aye.
Gray,
Aye.
Callahan absent, Tillman.
Aye, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is item 16, Fox Valley Special Rec Association.
Well, it's tradition for Fox Valley Special Recreation Association to not have a December board meeting, so we will have one in January at the end of this month. But at the last meeting, Commissioner Riley had asked if I could check in to see how many
yeah.
funds were raised at the Northern Nights Tree Lights.
right.
And it was over $8,000.
Oh, good, okay.
So-
Is that
Fantastic.
kind of the ballpark where they were hoping, do you think, or do you know?
Yeah, I think it was even more than what they
Oh,
were
good,
hoping.
good. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people there and very active, so that's great.
Yep.
Awesome. We have no items to discuss in executive session, so I thank everybody for watching and entertain a motion to adjourn the regular board meeting of January 21st at 8:50.
So moved.
7:50, that too. Yeah, I was on Eastern, that was Eastern time for all of you watching on the East Coast. Which could happen. What was that motion by Foils?
Yes.
Second by anybody? Second by Gray?
Oh, sure.
Do we call the roll for that? Do we call the roll
Just
to
all in
adjourn?
favor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we are adjourned. Thank you.